The Holy Lands, student capital of Belfast. It seems peaceful, yet everyone who knows these streets expects some level of outlandish behaviour, but nothing this premeditated. By night, a menace plagues the residents of the Holy Lands, committing the most incomprehensible crime against students. They're filming their actions and posting it to TikTok, amassing tens of thousands of views. They're known only as the Belfast Beano. My name is Ryan Murphy, and with my extensive background in criminology, I've made it my mission to find the Belfast Beano.
How long did you study criminology for?
About 4 weeks.
That's not very long.
It's enough.
It's 4 weeks? How the fuck?
So I've been researching the Belfast Beano for months now. Here's what I found so far. So the Belfast Beano is targeting a specific area of Belfast, the Holy Lands, renowned for its antisocial behaviour perpetrated by students. The Beano's posting these crimes on TikTok, giving me a wealth of clues, such as the white sock. In every single TikTok, they've been wearing a white sock on their hand to stop any fingerprints from getting on the can. Pretty smart if you ask me. And then there's the slippers. In one specific instance, they were seen wearing Ralph Lauren slippers. So it's someone of wealth and someone that lives close by. Nobody is walking a great distance in their slippers. So I must go to the biggest baked bean dealer in the Holy Lands. Here at the Holy Land Spar, students buy all sorts of things. Crisps, bananas, but most importantly, beans. And I was going to find out exactly who was selling them.
My name's Olivia. I work in the Holy Land Spar on University Avenue.
Have you heard of the Belfast Beano?
Yes, I've heard of the infamous Belfast Beaner. I think they're doing it just to wind students up, take the mick out of them.
In the shop, have you seen any suspicious characters come in lately and buy large quantities of beans?
Oh yes, definitely, but it's hard to pinpoint just one.
Really? How many?
A few, maybe five suspicious characters.
Any kind of descriptions of them that you'd be able to give? Or?
No, they always come in with their hoods up and very suspicious.
I was dejected. Olivia didn't seem to take this case seriously at all. But I knew if I could find someone actually affected, I could prove it wasn't just a joke. For a while, there was nothing. Until...
It was sort of party going on that night, and we opened our door to let the last couple of people out. We just sort of looked down and saw that there was beans all over our front step. We've really thought about it, and I can't think of anyone it could be. But as for why our house was targeted, again, it's one of those sort of mysteries that I just really can't seem to place my finger on. Maybe it started off as a joke and it was fine at the start, but then he began to see that people were finding it funny and getting him a bit more popular. So that's probably why he, did it a bit more frequently and stuff. I can understand people finding it funny to send maybe their friends' houses in and then seeing them on TikTok and things like that, but being the people that have been beaned, it felt like we were being targeted, and it was quite disheartening to be in the middle of it all.
Despite the Beaner captivating my attention, they couldn't give two shits about me or the good name of Heinz, the $93 billion company they were tarnishing, who commented on the events by saying,
"We are absolutely appalled by this activity. Apart from the mess caused, our beans should be eaten and enjoyed, not wasted, particularly at a time when so many families are living in food poverty."
Yet even after the comment from Heinz, I was no further. For a while, all leads ran cold. And with no new beanings, the Beaner had gone strangely quiet. But almost out of nowhere, the Beaner followed someone new. See, you can't just message anyone on TikTok. You need them to follow you back. I needed an inside man, or in this case, an inside woman.
My name is Martine O'Connor and I'm the only person that is followed by Belfast Beaner.
Why do you think the Beaner followed you?
I think the Belfast Beaner followed me because obviously I make most of my TikToks based around the Holy Lands and I play quite a big part in like the Holy Lands and just all the aspects about it.
Do you have any idea who the Beaner could be?
I think it might be a boy. I'm not completely sure who it is, but I think it definitely is a male. I don't think a girl would commit those acts.
Would you be willing to text the Beaner for us and see if they'd be willing to talk to me?
Yeah, 100% I'll be willing to text them. Yeah.
So if you could just say, hi, I see that you followed me. I'm working with a documentary crew who are making a documentary about you. Would you be willing to come and meet for an interview?
Does that sound like?
And then all I could do was wait. Except a response came quicker than I expected. So I didn't expect the Beaner to reply. Their account hasn't been active in months, but the craziest thing is, not only did they reply, they uploaded an old beaning they just never put on TikTok. And in the caption they said, "This is for you, Martine." I don't really know what to make of that, but I can't help but wonder, if I'd never gotten involved, if I'd never tried to get their attention, would they have posted again? Am I complicit? It quickly became clear. I was out of my depth. I needed to talk to someone who knew this world better than I did.
My name's Dave McGuigan. I own the Greedy Gwyn account and I have over 200,000 followers on TikTok.
Why do you think they're posting what they're posting on TikTok?
A bit of notoriety, you know, TikTok's a good platform at the moment for getting views, so yeah.
Why do you think it's a good platform to be getting views at the minute?
The organic reach is just really high on it. TikTok pushes your content to a lot of new people as opposed to the other platforms.
I've recently got into contact with the Beaner. Since doing that, they've posted again. Have I become complicit in this kind of behaviour?
If they're about the attention, this is more attention, so.
Do you think this kind of content is prevalent on TikTok?
It's not something I've seen before, but if people are interested in doing that kind of thing and they've seen this, you know, it might encourage them to do it or show them it can be done.
Since I started this investigation, there's been a host of copycat beanings, and even comments on their latest video celebrating the Beaner's return. It seems like David was right. I was left in a strange place. The Beaner wasn't responding to any more texts, and I was starting to feel that maybe my engagement was making things worse. And that this case was bigger than me, bigger than the Belfast Beaner. It was time to seek professional help.
Hi, my name is John Topping and I'm a senior lecturer in criminology here in the School of Social Sciences, Education and Social Work. While the Belfast Beaner seems to be a reasonably unique phenomenon, in wider societal terms, this sort of behaviour is absolutely not new. If we go back to the early to the mid-2000s, we had the so-called happy slapping phenomenon when the smartphones and cameras just came out, and all of a sudden people could do things and record in ways never before possible, and happy slapping phenomenon became quite widespread in a lot of Western societies. And I think the main thing is technology, and particularly the smartphone has facilitated the projection of these images. So while previously most of these activities would have been restricted to small friendship networks or what was immediately observable, now of course, whether TikTok or Twitter or Instagram or any of these accounts, you can suddenly beam yourself live to potentially millions, if not more, people. But again, this technology, as it always has done, has facilitated old crimes, but just in new ways.
This documentary has been a long process. There's been many times where I felt stuck or the next step has been unclear. But now I've reached a point of clarity. It's time to bring this investigation to a close. My name's Ryan Murphy, and I've been investigating the Belfast Beaner. When I began this investigation, I wanted to hold the Beaner to account for their actions and find out why they, as an individual, committed these acts. But over the course of my investigation, I found that there's a far more widespread and systemic issue at play, with social media platforms like TikTok and their algorithms unwittingly encouraging this kind of behaviour. That's why I've decided to end this investigation. The effects of the Beaner go beyond just the houses that they vandalise. There's a virality to this destructive content that allows it to be spread more, encouraged more, to the point that the hashtag crime has over 8 billion views on TikTok because we, as an audience, continue to watch it. So until the individual committing these acts changes, the platforms change, and we, as an audience, change, this is never going to end. It might be under a different name, or even a different crime, but there'll always be a Belfast Beaner. And that's the problem. The system breeds this type of content. The Beaner and every account like theirs are just giving the audience what they want. And we enjoy it.